November 29th, 2025. This is the first of an unpublished diary of my mind. I want this to be a record of my hidden thoughts, my experiences, about what I've learned in life and about life itself. I'm not special. I'm not somebody who can be held as an authority on anything. Simple man shooting Zoom videos out of his bedroom and sharing them with the public, and a small public at that. Popular channels are the ones that don't provide anything of use. It's not a charge on the channels providing us with mindless entertainment, but instead, it's a damning charge on on the public itself, who are provided with nothing in return. Yet they feel that this should be rewarded with hefty finances, donations, and tips. I don't want your money, and I want you to keep it. Times are rough as it is. You most likely need it. My show concentrates on the events of September 11, 2001 and areas related to it. And over the past couple of years, I've expanded into the current events, specifically in the Middle East, the U.S. government, foreign governments involved with the United States, specifically the Kingdom of Saudi Arabia and Israel. Never would I thought in all my 55 years on Earth that at this point in time, at the current moment, I would be at a point where I feel that suicide is a viable option. Not that I'm going to do it because I lack the courage of my convictions. I don't have the constitution to pull that trigger or swallow the pill or jump in front of a moving train. So instead, I deserve the hell that I've created for myself. And that is by soaking in enough information, data relating to more important things that involve every single body on the face of the earth. Gone are the days of innocence, of rooting for the New York Yankees with passion and glee, without realizing that powers that be and influential markets and banks and the military industrial complex and the intelligence services were looming in the background, waiting to be soaked in to experience, to rape me of my innocence, and to replace my glee with torment and debasement. The depression that followed didn't come right away. My own personal issues have led me to have a disastrous future. But as I began my studies into the events of September 11th, I became more and more desensitized to the world around me. This, of course, was quite comfortable with me since I've always had this stoic nature about myself that went back to my childhood. It's not a shock. It just became a very comfortable area of space within my existence. But as more I learned about the world around me and as I got older, which we all do, we suddenly become the old man that we used to make fun of when we were young. You know the type, the guy who's about 55 years old but looking 70, haggard with a loose cigarette in his lips, head down, shoulders slouched, walking very slow. Meanwhile, criticisms from youth that we all once were proud, arrogant, and of course ignorant regarding the true nature of the hell that's waiting for all of us at some level. There are different levels of hell, of course. Not everyone will suffer the most egregious types of torments. Even Dante Alighieri went through certain circles, some worse than the others. It's all about perception, you see. The experiences of life came through waves, unpredictability. Just when you thought you got things figured out, a slew of impartial signs of life that you've never experienced before are suddenly upon you. No way to shake it off or to make a different option about escaping. It's as if you're being waterboarded with nature, people's ignorance, with the general human experience. When you were younger, you could call about 20 people, have them all come over. But in the age of the internet, going outside seems like an introvert's horror, and the introvert's dream came true. Today, we can't even call one or two people. We don't want to. You know, may like the person, but there's something that just seems a little bit too troubling. Not the effort of pressing the buttons on your phone. It's about trying to make it a little bit interesting. The troubling nature of most people is the trivial aspects of the conversation itself. How are the kids, Bill? And the wife is nagging me in the corner. Job's going all right. Didn't get that raise. Man, we got new neighbors coming down the block. I missed the McGillicuddies. Things that seem trepidatious and repetitious, trivial and repetitious is what I meant to say, is its own hell, of course. Imagine being inflicted with the same conversations day after day, night after night. It's hard to have a constructive, more mentally focused, entertaining conversation, which people are so lacking these days. Maybe it's because you've been watching too much TV or listening to too much on the radio or watching too much on the internet, believing everything that's being put forth upon you, even though there's a secret war for your mind going on. So the psychological department of the United States Army, as well as the Central Intelligence Agency itself and the Office of National Intelligence, the Department of the Navy, and of course, foreign interests that don't want an educated public. God forsakes, if you know how to read, how dare you pick up that book? Here's the view. Watch Daystar. Pray to God. Make sure you tithe, because those who don't plant the seed aren't going to receive a flower. God is money. And he is green. You don't care about color, nor culture, or construct. And a lot of people are willing to even trade their own mothers to get a little bit of it. Here's some crumbs. Vote for me in November. I'll make things change. Almost like that trivial and repetitious phone call. But in this aspect, people have short term memory loss and they go through the voting process desperately hoping for things to change. When they don't, you blame the other side for getting in the way of change. Turn it around, it's still the same. And as for the select few who could see all through the smoke and mirrors, that's where you suffer the most. The circle is smaller. There's nobody to talk to. The information you receive has to go through a vetting process because you're not going to believe everything. The curse of knowledge is this: the sacrifice of innocence. The days of you rooting for the New York Jets and the New York Islanders and whatever sporting team that's existing in your respective cities can no longer return. There is no turn off switch. You can't unlearn what you've learned. And so you're stuck with the myriad of experiences and information that tell you that there's something wrong, but you have nobody to tell it to and nothing to do besides take it in the hopes of having maybe, just maybe, when you fall asleep, you don't wake up. But you do, and you go through the day. You might pop a tramadol, you might pop an oxy, but the temporary reprieve makes it all much worse because as soon as that crash begins, life is the one that's going up through your nose. There is no high when it comes to life. I've always said that the new sober is being high, that the drug is life itself, but you don't get a short term experience of life and liberty and a feeling of goodness. This drug is hapless, apathetic, unwavering, unceasing, unemotional. It doesn't care about autonomy, hegemony, community. It's emotionless and dark, like a doll's eyes, black and lifeless. And as murder becomes par for the course, mass murder will soon be desensitized in the public consciousness because the powers that be who made you believe that you are different from your fellow man through many years of propaganda, ideological propaganda, from every facet of life, from the church to the school, from the book to the magazine, from the internet to your mother, from your father to your brother, from your sister to your aunt and uncle, to your neighbor, even to the chalk on the street. Propaganda is everywhere. But it didn't affect you, my friend. You're awake. There is a life past this one, but you're not there yet. You have to die to see it. And I'm not talking about the physical death. Even Christ knew about that. What is of the flesh is of the flesh, and what is the spirit is of the spirit. And that is what humanity, the current governments, intelligence services, foreign agencies and entities and corporations want to dissolve from your mind. That you are only of the flesh, that there is no escape. And when you look into the sky, it's black and there's no light. There's no other life. Nothing's out there. And even if there were, you're not going to be told about it because those higher life forms that exist within the paramounts of other universes, they're going to be non existent. They're not going to tell you that because of the fear that they might tell you different, that you might be bigger than what you truly are and what they want to make you out to be, which is weak, hapless, defenseless, restless, angry, confused, uneducated, unhealthy, and always dependent on the state because that's what's needed to keep you a slave to the market of capitalism and the thinly veiled, transparent gauge of democracy as they continually, grudgingly erase your history, your civil liberties, and yourself. I don't need the monotheistic gods to tell me I'm bigger than what I am. I know I'm bigger than what I am and what they have told me I am from the moment you were born, when they put down that you're white, and they put down that you're a Christian and a Catholic later on. Did you get your shots? Did you make sure you stay in the circles? Did you make sure that you never venture out to other neighborhoods and make friends elsewhere? Stick with your kind. Immigration is evil. Integration is even worse. Don't be a race traitor. Don't be a cultural enemy to yourself and to others. Oh, you believe in aliens and God? Oh, you're fucking stupid. Oh, you only believe in a personal God that is angry and vengeful and murderous? That's a simple minded view that God cares where you put your dick in at night. Sounds humane, isn't it? Maybe it's because humans created God in their own image, but that the true nature and the true words of the prophets themselves, whether it be Moses, to Jesus, to Muhammad, the higher elevated beings who are not to be taken literally, but figuratively, so that you can play scenarios in your mind that transcend time. You and the person next to you are what matters, not governments, not money, and not the worldly things that you can't take with you after you die, but you take your consciousness. And when you die and you're released back to the essence in which you were given life, you're not going away anytime soon. Threats of heaven and hell from monotheisms always seem trivial and simplistic to me. Playing a harp on a cloud and praising God all day long really does sound like hell to me. The aspects of heaven I've always believed is pre-knowledge, and that you will return to the place in which you felt happiest the most, because you are in control of your mind, your own thoughts. That won't change after death. Maybe it will. Maybe there's some control, but we're not to know it because we'll be so encapsulated with what comes after death that we'll miss out on the one life that we were given. So live it freely, live it bravely, live it without restraints, but always be respectful of the person next to you, even though he may want to be called white or black, Democrat, Republican, Christian or Jew, Muslim or Hindu, left and right, man and woman. All those are meant to divide, further encapsulate within you the aggression to your neighbor, that the greater things in life require you to be restrainful of the constructs that are afflicting you, to deny them entry into your mind, and to remain steadfast on the goal, which is to be kind to your neighbor, to make peace and goodwill to all men, and to do this without reward or benefit. Not everyone can be free from the chains of slavery through the ideological process, but we can help try and get them there.